Hi, welcome to uxlivinglab. Our presentation will start soon. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are talking about how to deploy UI design. Very interesting topic. This is the fourth session of this series. We already talked about how to listen to users. Then we talk about how to convert UX findings to UI design. After that, we talk about how to develop UI design. And now we are talking about how to deploy UI design. So in this series, I am explaining very detailed steps of UI design in the perspective of UX. If you want to watch my previous videos, previous presentations, look to my profile. You can watch in each section separately with a detailed explanation on how to do these steps, or how to listen, how to convert, how to develop. Now we are talking about how to deploy. In this session, we will talk about how to deploy ideation, how to deploy wireframe. After that, we'll talk about how to deploy mockups. Then we talk about how to deploy UI design prototype, UI design MVP. MVP is minimum viable product. Then I'll talk about real-time UX. All these steps will be explained in the perspective of deployment, because I already explained everything earlier about how to develop or how to convert, how to listen. Today we are talking about how to deploy. All my presentations are related to innovation journey, open innovation journeys. So open innovation journey contains empathizing idea, sketching concept, designing look and feel, rapid prototyping, and evaluating MVP and market feedback. These are the important steps. These are the 6 steps of innovation journey. So whatever I talk to or whatever I am presenting is connected to this innovation journey, that is mainly the innovation journey of product. But in this series, we talk about UI design, which is relating to or which add value to the product design. As a UI designer, understand and follow these steps. Of course, we invite your likes and comments and questions. Also, you are free to share this presentation to your colleagues and team. At any time, and they also get a clarity on how these steps are working in a real life project. Okay, coming back to our topic, ideation. Ideation mainly talk about empathizing idea. So how to deploy your idea? So your idea should talk to your internal team and external team, as we discussed earlier. Also, talk to users. When we talk to external teams, you have to include your targeted users. So mainly the ideation process is a discussion because you are presenting the idea. You can use some presentations, otherwise you have to explain your idea. Better to avoid presentations. Present your idea from your heart, not from slides. That is a better way to convey your idea to the users. Okay, during the discussion, you can compare the ideas. You can talk about pros and cons of the ideas, and you can modify the ideas and get their feedback. So different methods you can apply in the segmentations and collect all these uh, contributions from your team as well as the external team. Again, if you are more creative or more interesting way to engage people for the ideation, better to use Lego bricks. I hope everyone played with Lego bricks in your childhood, but play with Lego bricks in UX design. While doing the interaction with your team, apply a three-dimensional modeling method is better to use Lego bricks. If you have any other tools to do the three-dimensional modeling, you can use it. But human mind is very easy to understand three-dimensional modeling. That's why we recommend Lego bricks to present your ideas. How do you do this? How to engage people in Lego bricks, or how to do it in a professional way? Understand it from Lego Serious Play. This is a very interesting site and interesting way of doing things. So we always recommend discuss with Lego breaks. Go back to your childhood. So it's a fun as well as idea, and people will react with lot of ideas because when you trigger your imagination power, and people come with lot of ideas. So that's a great contribution to your ideation process. Then come to wireframing. So based on these ideas, you can start wireframing. What I recommend is you can use a mix of paper and pen and softwares. Better to start from paper and pen because most of the UI designers are creative people, and they know or they have the artistic talent. So for them, that's very easy to prepare a sketch. Start with paper and pen. Some of the softwares gives the scanning of these wireframes, and it will automatically convert to the software as frames. Otherwise, you have to finalize the basic structure in paper and pen, then draw it in software. Because why I recommend is when we use softwares, it's little bit tough to get the flexibility of drawing, like a freehand drawing. Okay, if you are comfortable, you can do that with the touch screens and pens. Okay, it's up to you whether you have to start from pen and paper or you can directly start in laptop. Anyway, we need a wireframe. So these wireframes to be presented in front of the team. So every stage we have to talk to users. That is one of the important steps in delivery. Every stage we have to talk to users. Then comes to mockups. Mockups mainly talk about colors and shapes. When your wireframe is converted to the software platform, you can give colors and shapes to each component in that wireframe. First, you have to develop the wireframe and get the feedback from the users, internal team and external team, then finalize the wireframe, then give the colors and shapes to the wireframe. So colors and shapes gives more clarity to your UI design. Select colors based on the segmentation. As I explained in my previous presentation, that persona plays a big role in selecting the colors and shapes. So we have to refer these personas and develop the mockups. So how we can deliver these mockups? How we can deploy these mockups? You can use any softwares. There are four prominent softwares I am experienced with: is UiZad, Figma, Adobe XD, and Canva. All have their own merits and demerits. UiZad is a new entry to this group. That's some features are not yet developed to that level, but it is cheaper compared to other platforms. Figma is most of the people recommend Figma and Adobe XD also. But I always recommend Canva because Canva has a huge library. But Canva was first designed not for these UI design, it is for just social media designs or the poster designs and brochure designs. But now they are giving the platform to develop prototype and all the product based designs. So what is the advantage of Canva? It's having a huge library compared to all other softwares. The other softwares are just yeah, framing softwares, but Canva gives a huge library. So you can get the flexibility of Canva and use that huge library. That's so it's very easy to create all the mockups. So deliver your mockups in any of these softwares. UiZad, Figma, and Adobe have almost similar screens. The layout of the screens, the software platform is almost same. Canva is little bit different, but for more or less the purpose is same. These softwares will give the platform like a presentation. It will work like a presentation software. Also, you can use any drawings. That doesn't matter. I won't say which software you had to use. Doesn't matter. The creativity should come from your mind. What tool you are using is immaterial. Because most of my interviews, people will talk about what software I have to use. Or what software you are working with. I had to work in this software. I said, you are a UI designer. Work from here. Your creativity is here, not in softwares. If you are not a UI designer and you have no talent for UI designs, then you are working on these softwares, nothing you can do. This is just a space to work on, like your drawing sheet. But you can use it to make it fast. Alterations are very easy. You can present it. So you have to use any of these softwares. Which software you use is up to you. Then show these mockups to your internal team and external team. Get their feedbacks. Finalize the mockups. Then come to the next stage. Design prototype. Here I have a specific software to recommend. Specific platform to recommend. It's called Prototype. Whatever software you come across, that is UiZad, Figma, your Adobe XD or Canva, these are presentation softwares. These are just designed little bit above than Google Slides or PowerPoint with some frames and examples to show it as a presentation or mockups. I always call it as mockup software. I'm not calling it as a prototyping software. Even though they say that you can do the prototyping, I won't say that it's a prototyping software. It's a mockup software. Mockups you can show. That is like a presentation. But you have to use prototype. As a UI designer, you have to use prototype. This is a perfect software I come across to develop prototypes. What is the difference between this platform and the other platform? I'll show it first. So this is the screen. We can select what layout you had to use. Then look into this video. Prototype gives these type of tools because if you are a UI designer, you can understand how difficult it is to create this in Figma or UiSat or Canva or Adobe XD. You have to use a video for that. You have to record a video and show it. So where there is alteration, you have to alter the video. Otherwise, you can create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. If there's a 87%, it's 87 slides. So you can copy 87 slides and move it between. Then it shows like that. That's very tedious process. You can't develop these type of things in your softwares you are familiar with for mockups. But Protopy gives these facilities. You can control your camera. You can control your voice. You can use tabs, or you can use swipe, or whatever commands you are using in the digital platform. It is available in that software to use. So that's not a presentation software. To understand this, okay, you can see this video. Also, you can see this. This also video. You can see it's a music app. I can see the music, so we can use the music here. When you click on waterfall, I can see I can hear a music. In the midnight city, I can hear a music. So these type of facilities the software is providing, so you have to use it. This is a complete prototyping software. Otherwise, what do you do if you want to do a voice search? How you can present it in Figma or UiSat? You can say that you can show a mic and record a voice and say and put it to that, and but it won't work like a voice search. Or you want to show a selfie, you can show a picture and say that I am taking selfie. Can you do it in that prototyping? That's not possible. But in this software, it will control your mobile, it will convert to your mobile app, and you can run it as a mobile app. Then it works like a mobile app, and you can show the live presentation. That's more realistic presentation as a prototype. So everyone has to learn this software. Maybe other softwares are available, but I am only familiar with only this software. Okay. But I could not find any other software up to this level. You can find it out. But I recommend a prototyping software to do prototyping. But most of the UI designers limit their work to the mockups. Then they stop their project. I will explain the further steps in this presentation. Okay, after prototyping, the development starts. I'm mainly focusing on digital development, but the real product development also actually after prototyping, the development starts. So ideation, wireframing, mockups, prototyping, then comes to MVP, minimum viable product. This role is mainly assigned to front-end developer or the product development or R&D team. So after ideation, you confirm ideation with internal external teams, wireframing confirmed, then you confirm the mockups, then you confirm the prototype and explain this prototype to or deliver this prototype to the front-end developer. They will start minimum viable product using their own platforms for coding. Okay, in minimum viable product, what's your role? Don't think that your role stops when you release the mockups or when you release prototypes. You have to constantly synchronize the real product with your design. That's one of the steps most of the UI designers are not familiar with and they never experienced. Very few people will do that. Most of the UI designers stop their assignments when they deliver mockups to the designer. The problem is the product owner or the product development team or front-end developer, they will develop their own way. They say that these designs are not practical, so they may not work here, so they will develop their own way. So actually, your design get outdated from the scenario, and it will get no use. It won't have any importance in the real life project or real product development. So don't stop your designing at the mock-up stage or prototype stage. Synchronize with MVP. At that point, what is happening? So MVP, when they develop each steps, you can control your designs, or you can develop your designs as different versions and synchronize with the different versions the programmer is releasing. So version control is important. So actually it should develop along with the product development, so that you work with a product development team and synchronize your designs. So there are a lot of things they have to say, the technological limits or some other limits they can explain, so you can change your versions according to that. But each time keep in mind that you have to test it. Just changing is not enough. After changing, you have to test with the targeted users. And in this process, before you deliver any stage of this designing, this is one of the important steps. You, as a UI designer, you have to do auditing with rules, especially in the minimum viable development range. So I don't know how many rules you will apply in the prototyping or in the mock-up stage. For example, I saw a lot of mock-ups. It said that, okay, login, it goes to next screen. Log out, it goes log out. That's all. But where is the interaction rules? That is 10 usability heuristics. This is a Bible of UI design. So whether you applied it in mock-up stage or the design stage, prototyping stage, you may be missing a lot of rules. Still, you have to audit with these rules. You may be missing, but you have to implement all these rules in the MVP stage, minimum viable product. I can just read this rule, but because I already done an exclusive video, exclusive presentation about these 10 rules, most of my presentation I will explain these rules again and again, because this is the base of UI with users. Visibility of system status, match between the system and real world, user control and freedom, consistency and standards, error prevention, recognition rather than recall, flexibility and efficiency of use, or aesthetic and minimalist design, help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors, help and documentation. These 10 rules, you can't work without these rules. If you work without rules, that product may not be a useful product for the users. So these is the rules you have to go through in any stage of UI design. Okay, so I explained what are the tools you have to use, what are the steps you have to use. But one of the most important thing I have to convey here is managing large projects. You may be experienced with the website design, or you may be experienced with the one screen or two screen designs. I don't know whether you come across a design which is having 500 screens. In a mobile screen is having 500, so like a banking app. Or think about a automobile app, or think about any product which is having 100 features. Then think about a car dashboard. So these we can consider as a large projects. So what are the steps we have to use, or we have to come across while you do the large projects? First thing is, everyone knows split UI team under project lead. So you can split your project, UI design project, into multiple teams and assign. Don't assign every component or every part of the project to all teams. So you have to split under a project lead. Then this is one of the very interesting steps we are following. Assign weekly as tasks by splitting the project into components. So you design your project. First, you design the team into small teams, sub teams. Then divide the task. While dividing, you keep in the mind that the task should complete in 1 week's time. Otherwise, people take months and months to complete one task. It is not a practical way, or not. It won't give much output to your total uh, UI design as project. Give small tasks, and again I will explain how to give these small tasks in project. That's very interesting method I had to show. So we divide it team into small teams, then components. Then look into these steps. Monday, do ideation. Tuesday, do wireframing. Wednesday, do mockups. Thursday, do prototyping. Friday, do MVP. Think about the small task is completed, the subtask is completed, or we can say that the task which is limited to 1 week, it should complete in this pattern. That's one of the real practical way of doing or designing. Otherwise, you'll take one ideation itself, take another 2 months, then you'll start wireframing. It won't work. It won't work in the way, because these things to be fast. So every component has some results to show to move on. Why can't you limit your task in this way and strict control on the management? Monday for ideation. Take a small task, and do the ideation and finalize the ideation by the evening. Then next day, start wireframing. Complete by the evening. Then start mockups on Wednesday. Complete by evening. Then Thursday, do the prototype. Okay. Then MVP. This is practical for the digital product, but if it's a physical product, if you are designing a dishwasher, in a day, maybe ideation is okay, wireframe, but in the prototyping or MVP stage, the people need some more time because it's a physical product. Still, try to focus in this way, or maybe you can expand to MVP for 1 week. But these things you can complete in 1 day. That is, these things means the ideation, wireframing, mockups, and your prototyping can be completed in a day. But MVP you can spend 1 week. Your team can spend 1 week. So that entire process will take 2 weeks. I'm talking about this small task which is designed only for, can be completed at this period. Don't think that the entire dishwasher design can complete it in 1 day. That's not possible. But you can split the small task. For example, a knob or a small part of the knob with the ideation process on that. So the entire total product UI design ideation is under the project lead, but then divide into small component of the display or small component of the knob or something like that. It's the ideation to be completed, then wireframing mockups. Yeah, that's a way. That's a practical way. Monday to Friday task. Then what is happening? Think about these things are cycling every week, so the project will progress very fast. Most of the UI designers think about whether what this design is right or wrong. That part you have to test with the internal team and external team. Don't finalize with your intuitions and with only with your ideas or with your artistic scales. You check with the internal team and external team, then finalize. So this cycle is completing every week. That's a beautiful management principle we can follow in UI design. Think about it in a software also, the login or one part of the software, you can do it like that. Then next week you can take another part, or your team is divided. So when there is a software design, you can divide this into number of teams, and each component is given to each team. They will work like that. Again, it will be divided into tasks, and it will work like that. This is one of the beautiful methods we are following, so it gives results. You can also follow that. I am sharing my experience, so you can also follow this. Then I had to talk about real-time UX, what it is. After releasing it, after MVP, the product manager will release the product as a first version. Don't stop your designing process at that stage. Still, you it should not stop at mockup stage. Come to the MVP and the release stage. Then again, I am recommend don't stop at this stage. Continue with next versions. Continue the cycle for next versions, because you are the important part of the design. So UI design. Why I'm saying again, I saw a lot of design, lot of UI designers. They stop at mockup stage. They'll show, share. They will draw some screens and give to the project owner. That's all. Whatever happening after that, what the product is developing after that is completely the responsibility of the development team. At the end, what is happening? The design and product have no match. Design is something else. Product is something else. So what is the use of all the effort you have done? So you continue with that. If you want to change the color according to the user needs, you have to change the color in your design and implement it in the product. In that way, you have to synchronize your work with the product development team. So that's the reason in one of the presentations I explained, as a UI designer, you have to work with the product development team. So you can continue with next versions. If it's a physical product or digital product, every time your company has to release the next version. So UI team should continue. Okay. So I'm done. I explained all the steps. So what are the main takeaways? So main steps are you can split your entire journey to ideation, wireframing, mockups, design prototypes, design MVP, and real-time UX. I hope you are clear on my explanations. Still, I have to conclude. What are the takeaways? In ideation process, do team meetings to convey ideas. Better to use real objects for clarity. As I explained, you can use Lego bricks or some other. In olden days, we'll be using carpenters' assistants to develop these prototypes. Now we can use Lego bricks, or there are digital version of the Lego bricks are available, so you can use that. Talk to users to explore and validate ideas. That is the way you have to deliver ideation. Complete the ideation and deliver. Then comes to wireframing. Use pen and paper or any drawing tools to develop. Then talk to users before you deliver to the project team. Talk to users. Then mockups. Use UI design softwares. I already explained what are the prominent softwares available to develop. Then talk to users. Then deliver to the project team. Then prototyping. Use prototyping softwares. That is important. Prototyping, because the prototyping software I already explained, it is having import facility. That is, if you develop the mockups in Figma or UiSat or in Sketch, you can import that design to this prototyping software and continue. Otherwise, you can start prototyping from Protopy itself. The other method is you can do the mockups in Figma or UiSat, then import that design to Protopy, then add all the dynamic features, because that is very important. Otherwise, nowadays everything is more dynamic. It's not a text form, or it is not just a dry website you are talking about. There are chat options, there are voice options, there are videos, camera requirements. Think about mic requirements. There are a lot of things we are incorporating in a digital product as well as in the real product. We are incorporating all these features, isn't it? Nowadays, there is a voice interaction is also available in most of the physical products. Think about a car dashboard, you can interact with voice. So add these features in the prototype stage and explain to the programmer. So programmer will get, or the product development team will get a more clarity on what product you have in mind. That's the reason that you use prototyping software. Also, it's very easy while you talk to the internal team or external users for your confirmation process, where you can easily demonstrate the prototype in the full scale. Okay, it's an important thing, because you can demonstrate the software in a full scale, even though I can okay, otherwise you can just go through the options in their website. You can see something like that. So this is from Protopy. So look into this. So these type of features, it will be you can easily demonstrate these type of features to the users, so that gives a more clarity to the targeted users as well as your team. Okay, then comes to MVP. Okay, you should not stop at the prototype stage or mockup stage. Continue with the product development team. Manage versions and sync design with real product. Split the team and assign small tasks to manage large projects. I already explained that. So this is one of the important things. You have to, as a UI designer, you have to continue with the development team and sync your designs. Real-time UX, continue the cycles for next versions. So as a UI designer, you are a part of product development team. Because UI is one of the important part of the product. So you work along with the product owner or product development team. Continue the designs in a day-to-day basis, update the designs and sync with the product on day-to-day basis. So when the product is ready, your design should be as equal as the product. Okay, these are the takeaways. Thank you so much for your time. So we completed the fourth step, being a UI designer, how to listen to users, how to convert UX findings to UI designs, how to develop UI designs, how to deploy UI design. So these are the four steps. If you want to watch the previous steps, you can go to my videos in any of the social media channels and learn maybe some of the things. I'm not, why maybe you think that why I'm not explaining how to do the uh, segmentations, or how to talk to a user, or these things I already explained the previous version. So if it's a new point, if you are new to my presentation, you can just refer my previous videos. And thank you so much. You can like or share my presentations to your team. And questions, you can air your questions in the comment box, or you can talk to me directly. So I will answer all your questions. Thank you so much.